Wow, we got a big crowd tonight. This is good. Hi, Zoomers. I have a bigger crowd here tonight. You can come too. Love to see you in person. Welcome, everyone. My name is Michelle, and I am your MC for tonight's Thursday evening conversation, and I'm very happy to be here for a number of reasons. Number one, because I love to be here, calms me down. I have a very, and it says it on here, it's a fast-paced life. I do. So this is something when I come in here, do you feel it when you come in? Zoomers, do you feel it? Things kind of slow down when we walk in. And the vibrations are very powerful. So I love to be with you and with you, Zoomers. And also the subject matter tonight is going to be really wonderful. This month, as some of you I see have been with us, it's Raja Yoga for well-being. Human beings should be well-beings. Today is mend the mind. I also think bend the mind, but we're going to mend the mind. And what caught me is the fast-paced life. We try to mend things to the physical body, and I do that. I have a lot of tasks to do, and I actually think I can control things. I can't, but I think I can, ticking off tasks. And I take my mind and my brain for granted, just like I do breathing in my heart. My mind's all, I went to school, I'm educated, I can handle it. But no, I need to slow down. I think I mentioned it a few weeks ago. My job now is to slow myself down as I do tasks, to really be with that. That takes training. Today, 2 times when I was doing assignments for work, slow down. Pay attention. Let the phone ring. Not easy. Tonight, we are, because it talks about, we forget our mind needs fixing too. It does. It needs exercise. It needs to be loved. It needs to be focused on. And we have to do this on a regular basis. And tonight we are very delighted to invite someone you've been here before, right? I know, I think I've introduced you once before. We have Dr. Manoj Matnani. He is a pediatric nephrologist, which is a nephrologist for children, and a renal transplant physician. I did not know that. He is a much sought after international presenter and a well-published physician. He's done a number of journals, right? Journals and books. And he is, most important, a Raja Yoga teacher and practitioner. Practitioner, integrating spiritual values into his life and medical practice. He's been he's connected with the BrahmaKumari wing. That's the medical wing. I did not know that either, that there's a medical wing of the BrahmaKumaris, which is just fascinating. I've heard about the hospital in Madhuban, so it's wonderful. But what's most interesting is he has postgraduate training in memory development, hypnotherapy, and counseling. So in addition to dealing with the physical body, he also deals, it's like metaphysical. You have that approach, which is really going to be fascinating because that's really what it's about. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to let Dr. Matnani come. Welcome. Looking forward to this.
Okay, good evening. Om Shanti. So welcome all of you, and we are a very small group. So do you mind coming? It's the mind. Do you mind coming in the front so that we can interact more? Is that okay? Thank you. Yeah, so if you want on the first, it's fine, but closer would be better. Yeah. Right. So at the onset, thank you so much, Michelle, for this generous introduction and also about the topic, mend the mind. I think we met last year as well. It was about the eye for the eye. Well, we'll not go, it was the past. The mind has a very bad habit of going in the past very often. And it is proven that 80% of times we are in the past. Do you agree? Even if you don't agree, science tells you that. 15% of the time we are thinking of the future. What am I going to do at 8? What am I going to cook? So on and so forth. And hardly we have 5% in the present moment. So do you feel that our mind needs mending? Okay, big time mending. In one way, even if the physical body you don't fix, but you know there's a saying, mind over matter. So maybe you are having pain in some part of the body, but if your mind is happy, the pain just disappears. Whilst if your mind is unhappy, even a little bit can exaggerate a lot. So there are many reasons that which cause my mind to be, you can use words, disturbed, unstable. And what are the reasons the mind goes into that mode? I think we heard a beautiful commentary, meditation commentary from, I think it was a few minutes ago for 5 minutes. Quite a few things were mentioned. So if you can just explore, see, I don't believe in giving lectures. I like to interact with people, and we are almost a small group. So if you give a few answers, will be good. We can catch that and go further. So what are the reasons that the mind goes into a very unstable, fast mode? She mentioned that fast. You're in America. Stress. So stress is just a process. So what is the reason for stress? Fear. Yeah, good. Fear. Anxiety due to many reasons. Yeah. Family. Yes, family can be a big time reason for stress. And hmm, too many tasks and multitasking. And I really don't believe in the word multitasking, because if you are multitasking, your mind will be fast. There's no way that I can concentrate on one task, which I can do very well, but I can concentrate on n number of tasks. The mind has to be fast. In the USA, you have a lot of fast things, fast cars. It should be fast. You don't want a slow car, doesn't do good. Fast food, USA is famous for that. Doesn't matter, it doesn't mean India isn't. Everywhere people just have to have fast food. Fast computers, your RAM in the phone. Do you know how much RAM is there in the phone? RAM is random access memory, which decides how your apps come and go and how fast they come and go. So that should be fast, because we don't want the phones to hang up as well. So the computer or the RAM needs to be fast. But what about the state of the mind? It needs to be. Is slow good? Michelle is saying slow. Do you want a slow mind, or you want a stable and a calm mind, right? Because people say, oh, meditators are very slow. Are meditators slow people? Oh, you don't accept. They are stable people. And it is always good to be stable than all the time have accidents because of fast meals. It reminds me of Dadi Janki here. I'm sure all of you have met her or seen her at some point of time in the past. And that's what she used to always say, slow down, calm down. A sister used to come and say, Dadi, this happened. And that's what I have learned at BrahmaKumaris, be patient. Because sometimes I feel, as a doctor, even I'm very impatient. And why do we say patience? It is closely related to the word patient. Have you been a patient in the past? We have. And are we really patients now also when we are mentally disturbed? I think that's totally ignored. We are a patient if we are mentally disturbed. So I feel if we can just develop one virtue of patience, and as she was again and again saying, slow down, slow down. So patience and fastness or speed don't go together. Do you agree? I have to be patient to take care of my mind. So let's look at the word mind, M-I-N-D. I'm sure all of you know the mind is basically the faculty of the soul, and you're comfortable with the word soul. I'm sure you are, because I think majority of you do practice Raj Yoga meditation. You're aware of this and you're aware of BrahmaKumaris. So it is the faculty of the soul which is responsible for thinking. And as we were speaking of thinking and thanking, both words are very similar to each other. The only difference is the I and the A. So when I'm thinking, I'm in the I-ness, the I mode. So can I go into the thanking mode? That is the A. And what is that A? Which all of us in some way or the other lack. And that's the reason my mind is unstable. It's a very beautiful value. A, that's the word acceptance. And then you can go on and say accommodation, acknowledgement. We'll go to that sometime later. But what I'm trying to say here is that we know it's the faculty which is the thinking faculty, and everything starts with a thought. If you heard the commentary, thought is a seed, right? If I have to do any task, if I have to speak to someone, that's my action and my words. What is a faculty before all of them? The mind, the thoughts. We say thought, word, and action. So M-I-N-D, I'll give you, it's an acronym in one way. And let's see what energy you feel when I'm saying that word. My inner noisy devil. Does it really make you feel comfortable? No, you'll say, I don't like this word. Even I don't like it, but that's the way it is. And it is not only a devil, it's a noisy devil. So say if I have a devil sitting here in the corner, and if it is not doing anything, that's also good, right? But if it is noisy, and the noise just began immediately on the AC. If it is noisy, it is double trouble, right? So it's not only a devil. What does a devil do? Guess, what does it do? Gets you into trouble. Devil is, it's not a good word again. And the word itself tells you devil, evil. And D stands for so dangerous evil. So it's something very evil. It is not a good word. And opposite of evil is? Sorry? Holy. Okay, yeah. That reminds you of a temple or a church or a mosque, something. Yeah. So it's holy. So something more practical would be, rather than an evil, it should be pure, holy, positive, as we were thinking. So we'll go on that journey further. So do you agree that my mind is my inner noisy devil? It is. So, and all of you are practicing meditation. The moment you go from here, then it is no more a noisy devil. So can I convert my inner noisy devil into my inner noble doctor? And how does that sound now? So it's not only a doctor, but also a noble doctor. And how many of you believe, because you are in this country, USA, that doctors are no more noble? Well, let's not open this big Pandora's box. We are not going there. But it's a doctor. It's a noble doctor. And who's that doctor? I myself have to. Because see, no one can do that for me. There are many things action-wise. And so we have thought, word, and action. So action and words. Before that, it is the thought. So if I'm not able to do some action, say if I'm taking a day off from my job, I feel that, oh, I am not doing, but someone else can do that job, right? Maybe better or worse, that's different. Then if I'm not speaking for a day, like if I want to go and take a lecture somewhere as a professor, say I take a day off today, if I don't do, someone else will do it, right? But word action is done. What about thoughts? Who will take care of my thoughts? Can someone else take care? So we know all this today. So today I just want to explore with you, because I don't want to give you a lot of theory about the mind and about thoughts. All of us know everything actually. So I just want you all to take an experience from here. And the more and more you all take that experience from here, you'll be able to explore that experience. And therefore it is said experience and then express. I'll be able to express only if I'm able to experience. And as Michelle, not Rachel, Michelle said that whenever she comes here, she just slows down automatically. So can I take from this atmosphere, this vibrations of this atmosphere back to my workplace and home? I can, obviously, yes. And I don't need to be dependent on someone's meditation commentary. Can I create my own meditation commentary? Yes, I can. And it's a process. Today, I may find it difficult, but in a few days, it will become a part of my routine. So I just need to do that. I need to keep doing it. So let's convert my inner noisy devil, that is the mind, into my inner noble doctor. And let's look at the word mend. As you said, bend. It's a beautiful word, rhyming words, mend. A mind which is mended, which means which is fixed, can also bend. Bend means flexible. Do you feel we are flexible with people? Okay, let's take the focus back to ourselves. Are we flexible with the self? Not in a bad way, because sometimes we are too over flexible. Oh, it's okay, I didn't meditate today, it's fine, I'll do it tomorrow. No, I'm not speaking about that sort of flexibility. I'm speaking about being flexible in what way? Something happened. Can I? Something, I'll add an adjective. Something negative happened. Can I? What? You're very silent. You're looking at me like that. So can you just give me a few answers? So can I? Accept. Yeah, that's the word. It comes everywhere. Everyone feels acceptance. It's a very overrated word, but the most underused word, right? I'm at the traffic light. Someone just crossed me. Or I'm just driving at 50 mph, but someone crossed past me 60 mph. What is the first thought that comes to the mind? Sorry? That's it. That's the only thought. Oh, that's a very good thought. You've already accepted the person. But what are so that's the first thought. What about the second, third, fourth thought, the train? We call it the train of thoughts. One thought leads to many thoughts. What is the other thought which immediately comes up? Who the hell has given the license? Will he not be ticketed? It's so on and so forth, right? So again, it's a process. We'll understand the process when we go to the D aspect and the N aspect. What is N and D? I'm looking at MEND, MEND. I have this, I'm not saying bad habit. I don't use negative words. I have this habit of using the word as an acronym and trying to memorize it in one way. So let's start with the word MEND. So we have understood about the mind, that how we want to convert it from the noisy devil into a noble doctor. And now let's look at the process, how to do the mending. So mend, M-E-N-D. The first M is, how do you mend the mind? I'm sure all of you know that, which you did 15 minutes ago. You slowly, yeah. So first thing is meditation. And there are very many other beautiful words which start with M and very closely related to meditation. That is also called mindfulness. So the other day I was giving another talk related to meditation. So I asked the audience, and a young boy, young in the sense, maybe 19, 20. So I asked him, I generally asked, what is mindfulness? And he said, fullness. So fullness means a big fat mind full of thoughts. Is that mindfulness? No. It's not that fullness. So it is a mind which is fully present in the awareness of the present moment. And that's the reason the tense, we say there are three tenses, right? Past, present, and future. So the present, why it is called present? Because it is the present which is there for us. Because that's the only cash in hand which you have. So say let's look at the past. Past is in the form of accounts. Any accounts person here? No. So in the terms of accounts or in the form of banking, past is a cancelled check. It has been cancelled. You just can't encash it, right? What about the future? It's a post-dated check. So you say, if I want to give you a check of $100,000, it's a good amount, right? And I write on it the date 27 June 2025. So you'll say, thank you, keep it back with you. Why? You can encash it next year, can't you? But you don't want to wait for the future because you don't know. And maybe if you go on the next year, and maybe if I'm here at the same time, you can catch me. And if it gets bounced, so you've just waited 1 hour for that, 1 year for that money, but you didn't get it. So it's a post-dated check, or we also called a promissory note. In the good old days, people used to say, I promise that I'll give you this much. But that's about giving you in future. So no good being future, in the future, no good being in the past. When I say about future, that doesn't mean that I don't prepare for the future. Don't take me wrong. I'm just saying if you're constantly thinking about the future, what will happen, it's not good because your mind is again going in the fast mode. So the only cash which I have in hand is the present moment. And the present moment, if I can enjoy, nothing like it. So mindfulness, basically, it's a concept where, again, medical science teaches us to be in the present moment again and again, again and again. And again, remembering of Dadi Janki, we at BrahmaKumaris really put her on a big pedestal because she's a very dear senior, very dear Dadi. But I think y'all in the Americas have proven her to be something which is related to today's topic about the mind. She's called the most stable mind in the world. Do you know this experiment was conducted on her? Okay, you all don't know, so I'll tell you. I don't know where exactly in US. Maybe Tina Wayne can tell me. Was it Texas or California? Texas, probably, yeah. So somewhere in the central part of America. So they heard about Dadi Janki, and America needs proof, right? Do you agree? Because it's science, it's a world of science here. Whereas spirituality may not be able to give you hardcore proofs, but spirituality will give you the experience, the feeling, which science won't be able to give. So the experiment was conducted, and the scientists asked her to come there wherever this was conducted. She was asked to sit in a chair. A lot of electrodes were applied. Electrodes means the ones which sense your inner activity of the brain, and then they started. So let's conduct that experiment here and see how we go further with this. So at the moment when you're listening to me and I'm speaking, you're attentive, you're alert, you're actively listening, you're constantly thinking. Your brain has something called beta waves, beta stage. And then as we start relaxing, it goes in alpha and further theta and delta. Well, let's not go in the scientific aspect. So what they did is they started stimulating Dadi Janki's mind with a lot of math questions. So math is logic, mathematics is logic. So as you start applying logic, your brain starts working. And which brain particularly works, the left or the right? The most active is L, the logic, yeah, correct. So it's easy to remember L for L. The left is logical. So Dadi was said, we'll start 100 minus 7. Go on. Minus 10. 10 is a bit easy. Further. 83. Minus 5. You're correct. So she was asked like that, some problems, some math equations or something, not equations, but some common problems. So they saw that the tracing in the machine, the EEG machine, was constantly showing what is called the delta rhythm. Delta means a stable rhythm. So then they said, there is some problem. Now, where's the problem? You have to troubleshoot. Either the machine is having a problem or this lady has got a problem. Lady means the Dadi has, and problem means, yes, it's really because they weren't able to accept that how can, because that's normal human mind, which tends to, as you start being logical and solving math sums, tends to go in beta stage. So then they said, let's go ahead. And for this, if there is a conflict in science, what do? we get someone called control. Control means another, into bracket, normal person, which means Dadi wasn't normal in that sense. So they got another person, and same thing, electrodes applied, same thing, and they saw, oh, that there's beta wave rhythm. So now they confirmed that this machine is not having a problem. This lady is having a problem, which means we say problem, but she's on the contrary abnormal. If we say in the world today, we would call her abnormal, but she's a genius in one way. Because the people who are genius have a very high IQ. So Dadi, we are not speaking about IQ, intelligence quotient. We are speaking about EQ, emotional quotient. And something higher than EQ, we are speaking SQ, that is spiritual quotient. So EQ basically means my ability to handle my emotions. And for Dadi Janki, it was thought to be very, very, it was like you break the rooftop and go further. It is like so high. And so they labeled her as a Delta lady. So coming back to this concept of mindfulness, if I can be fully present in the present moment, it can really create miracles for me. And that's what we do in meditation, because when we sit in meditation, what's the first important thought everyone creates? And watch the tense of that word. What tense is it? What do you create? I am a peaceful being. You don't say, I was a peaceful being. I will be a peaceful being. I am. So that's the importance of being in the present moment. So this is the first M. And again, we won't speak a lot about meditation. We'll experience it, because there's too much of jibber jabber about meditation. Even if you type meditation, you'll get, I don't know how many thousands and thousands of videos. And there are so many different types of meditation people do. So rather than listening to so many people, it's important to experience that, right? Then we move on to the next, that is, what's the next alphabet? To help me. MEND, M-E. E stands for equanimity. And it's a beautiful word which tells us about balance. And very commonly we hear this back home as well. People always say they don't want to learn meditation, but they want to learn work-life balance. This is a word which is routinely spoke about, but work-life balance basically means balance between personal life and professional life. But again, when we speak about personal life, what do you mean by personal life? It's a life with your family, right? That's what people think. But the most important person in the family is forgotten. And who's that? I, the self, yeah. So we need to set our priorities right. So if I can ask someone here, why do you want to work? The common first answer would be, yes, for the money, because you need money. You can't have a life without money. So that's fine to be money minded, but not too much of money minded that you don't get time for the personal. Because people say, yeah, I have to work whatever, 9 to 5, 8 to 5, and then the remaining hours I'm at home. But of that, you also need to take care of your sleep. You need to rest. So you are hardly there, say 4, 5 hours with your family. So the first thing which people prioritize is work, followed by family, and then followed by the self. So these priorities are totally topsy-turvy. The priority should be self the first. And you see, you just change this priority, which we can do on a weekend. Try on a weekend. It's coming Saturday onwards. Try to give some time for the self, and then see how your relationships change at home. I'm sure all of you will agree it will change. And once you are empowered as a self and your relationships at home are becoming better, what happens to your work life? What do you feel? Because the same person going everywhere. I am empowered, I'm going to work, I'm at home with my family. So if I'm able to enjoy with my family, I'll definitely be able to do multitasking, as we discussed, at work without getting stressed. So I think the priority needs to change. And when we say I, people say, oh, you're so selfish, you're taking care of all the time. In one way, we need to be selfish. Because I'm sure when you travel in the flights, what's the announcement which the air host or air hostesses do? In oxygen, in low oxygen pressure, oxygen mask will fall down and you have to apply the mask to the self. If you have an infant with you, a small kid, you're being so selfish, you're not applying it to him. But I have to be selfish here. And this is being selfish in a good way. And if you all don't like the word selfish, I can just say take care of the self first. Because if I am not, if I mean my oxygen pressure is low, say of the mind, we are not speaking about now of the body today, we are all speaking about the mind. When do we know that the oxygen pressure of the mind is low? We discussed all that: anxiety, stress, jealousy, hatred, so on and so forth. So if I am moving, how can I apply the mask to someone else? Same thing, if I am moving inside, if I am so unstable all the time, and usually all the time is a wrong thing. We are stable majority of the times, or sometimes we are stable. Sometimes, yeah, that's the word. So that sometimes, can we move from sometimes to being zero? A bit difficult. Can we be stable all the time? It's a journey, it's a process. So if I take care of myself, my relationships will be fine, and then I will be able to even work better. So this is called a balance. There could be many other balances as well. What could be the other balances in life which we need to maintain? Hmm? So say if you're going for a party and you're enjoying yourself, you're enjoying to such a level that you are very, very happy. But suddenly something happens and then you come out. What happens to your state of mind? Suddenly from 100, it goes down to 0. Is that a good balance? No. So again, it reminds me of Dadi Janki. I don't know. It reminds me of many stories of that highly elevated soul. So we have a Bollywood celebrity back home in India. His name is Suresh Oberoi. I'm sure a few people know about him because he's seen commonly with Sister Shivani on the talks on the television. So he visited the campus. He was new to BrahmaKumaris and he was a celebrity. So Dadi Janki fixed a brother. She said, you go and show him the entire campus. And the brother was excited. Is excitement a good word? According to Dadi Janki, no. Be happy, but don't be excited. So the brother was excited. He went around, showed. After half an hour, 1 hour, he came back to Dadi Janki. And he said, Dadi, Suresh Oberoi is very, very happy. And so I'm also very, very happy. Anything wrong in this statement? No, absolutely fine, because he is happy. So I'm happy. So Dadi said, okay, come sit down. So brother sat in front of him and Dadi gave him a bit of drishti. You know drishti. What is drishti? Giving that powerful soul conscious vision to the brother. So he said, okay, tell me, how was the visit? So he said, I showed this. And because Suresh Oberoi is so happy, therefore, Dadi, I'm feeling very happy. So Dadi said, okay, fine. But more important is, were you happy while doing that service? Again, Dadi repeated, were you happy? Was your state of mind happy, independent of other people's states of mind while doing service? And then he was pondering on that. So that's what we are always taught here at BrahmaKumaris, that let us not be affected by people's states of mind. So if I'm throwing a party at home, no worries, throw it. Do everything, whatever you want to cook, 4 dishes, 10 dishes, whatever you want to do. But if I do it thinking that someone should be happy, then I'm on a very dangerous level. I be happy, I cook, and rather at BrahmaKumaris, we go one step further. We cook in happiness and also in the remembrance of the Supreme Being, so that the vibrations of that supreme happiness be in there. And then if someone eats that food, do you feel that person will not feel happy at all? There will be no chance left. So why am I? Because Dadi used to say, and even we are taught here, that don't make people happy. Be happy and do things. And even if someone is not happy, why should I fluctuate in my state of mind? Why should I lose my balance? Okay, so throw a party, but be happy and do it. And then high chance that no one will go dissatisfied or discontented. Because we say, this is a very common saying. We say to people, oh, I did so much for them, but still this one XYZ is dissatisfied. I mean, you have such one or two people who you feel that it's very difficult to satisfy them. And who are those? These are the ones usually very close, in close relationship. So let's like look at this equanimity, that let's try to have balance, not try to be very, very happy when something good is happening, and not try to be so sad and depressed when something untoward is happening, and be happy all the time and do whilst being happy and also in the remembrance of the being, the supreme being. So we move on to the next word, alphabet, N. N stands for no. Okay, no negative words. So N stands for nurturing and nourishing. So, your mind is like a small kid. If your small kid or a grandkid now for you all starts crying, how much time do you all take to fix him? Fix him in the sense, look after him. Will you say, let him cry for half an hour, then I'll go? No, it's almost instantaneous, right? You're working in the kitchen, you hear your kid crying, you go immediately. Same thing. I need to treat my mind like a small child, and I know when it starts crying. Do you agree? When there's the first thought of, say, rejection from someone, it gets disturbed. The first thought of unhappiness, something happened and I'm not able to accept, I'm unhappy. So I need to catch my mind at that point of time. And I need to really nurture it and nourish it. And we'll see how to nurture and nourish the mind. So say if I want to, many people also say this, that my mind is out of control. That's a very common statement people say, right? It's very common. So people say that I can't concentrate in meditation because my thoughts are very fast, and I can't concentrate also because my mind is really running very fast. And I can't control my mind. That's the word. So if I say I want to control you, how does it sound? Again, doesn't give a good energy at all. So instead of controlling, I must say, I want to take care of my mind. And how does that sound? So taking care of the child or controlling the child, what is good? Taking care, right? So therefore it's important, let's change our vocabulary and not say the self again and again, oh, I can't control my thoughts. No, I can take care of my thoughts, and that's important. And how do I nurture my thoughts and how do I nourish my thoughts? So as we were discussing about the body, that the body needs three things every day. What does the body need? The first important thing is water. Okay. So along with water, food is important. Yeah. So we are discussing. Yeah, you're right. Air is also correct. So food is important. You need 3 times, 2 times, whatever. Second, sleep. Very important. 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And third thing, exercise. That's the important one, which people don't say. That's coming last, actually. I think it should be first. So same thing, the mind also needs these 3 things. Then only you're able to nourish and nurture the mind. The first thing, as you all said, is food. What is food for the mind? Good thoughts. And not only good, we should just keep elevating our level. It should be pure, positive, purposeful thoughts. And these you can get from any spiritual teachings. At BrahmaKumaris, we read this, what is called the morning Murli class. You could read up anything which is uplifting. There are those cards of affirmation, positive thoughts cards, which people give you. We at BrahmaKumaris also give you, or something spiritual, something which uplifts your mind. It's important to read that. That is the way to take care of the food for the mind. So that's first. And when should you do that? In the morning, the first thing you wake up, rather than having technology with you. Most important is waking up and reading something positive. Second, we spoke about food, then we said about sleep. So what is sleep for the mind? Sleep gives you energy to the body as you sleep, a good quality sleep. Quantity is not so important, quality is important. So if I have a good quality sleep, it's defined, sleep is defined as a good quality sleep if you're able to have the delta rhythm. That's what we spoke about shortly. So we sleep in cycles. So if I sleep for 6 hours, every cycle is say 2 hours. And in that 2 hour cycle, there is around 15-20 minutes of deep sleep, which is called the delta sleep, and where I'm connecting directly to the supreme being, or rather to the divine consciousness or the cosmic energy. And then I recharge my battery. So for example, if I'm having a disturbed sleep, so even if my quantity of sleep would be say 7 hours, 8 hours, it's no good because my deep sleep is not there. So sleep for the body. So what is sleep for the mind? Meditation, as we rightly discussed before. And both these words are very uh, used in a good way. So some people say sleep is unconscious meditation and meditation is conscious sleep. Now we need to understand this word. So when we meditate now, are we trying to consciously sleep? No. So try to understand that sleep means when your state of mind has become very stable, and then your brain ticks off. Your brain feels, oh, this person has no other task to do. Let's take off. And then people feel it's sleep. But sleep means getting into a state which is very stable. So meditation is conscious sleep that way. And sleep is unconscious meditation, which means, as I told you, the delta rhythm where I'm getting connected to the supreme being, I don't even realize that I'm meditating that time. So that's the important thing which we said about sleep. And the third thing for the body we said was exercise. So what is exercise for the mind? Positive thinking. So like we spoke about thinking and thanking, right? So if I think good, I'm really thanking myself and the supreme being. So positive thinking, how to understand in the form of an exercise. Say something has happened negative with me. At the very first instance, when that thing has happened, can I think positive? Not really. It doesn't come out so fast. Same thing, look at your physical exercise. The day one, when you go to the gym or you start running, it really hurts because your muscles have been inactive and now you have used them for the first time. So you're feeling a lot of pain. But will you stop doing exercise then for the body because of this pain? No. Second day, third day, by end of week one, your pain would be gone. It usually happens. And then by day 8, for some reason, you're not able to do exercise. What do you feel like? Oh, something is missing. That which surge is missing? The endorphins. Those are those positive hormones or pleasure hormones which are released when someone exercises. So same thing happens with positive thinking. On day one, something has happened to me. I'm not able to create a positive thought, but don't give up on yourself. Keep doing it, keep doing it. It will be painful to create positive thoughts in a negative situation, right? You'll say, why to create? But no, create, keep creating it. Because I am the master creator, I have to create. And then third day, fourth day, you'll still find it more difficult and you'll find it very weird. Why am I creating positive thoughts when nothing in my world outside is positive? But keep doing it. After a week or so, you'll start feeling better because you have worked on yourself. And as I said, on day 8, if you're not creating positive thoughts on that day, you are missing something. You'll say, no, I am really missing my dose. And which dose? Because positive thoughts also give you those dose. What is that dose? What we call DOSE. Easy to remember. These are the 4 hormones, which are what we call the good hormones in the body. Anyone knows D? Perfect. Dopamine, which is a reward hormone. O, perfect. Are you a doctor as well? No, good. Oxytocin. S, serotonin. And E, endorphins. And science has proven that each of these hormones is related to something positive. So if you reward someone, if you reward a child, dopamine goes high. Oxytocin is the hormone of love and affection, particularly mother and child bonding and similar such relationships. Oxytocin. Serotonin comes from if your mind is feeling good and if you're not depressed, your serotonin levels are high. And people who are depressed, it is seen in the world outside in the psychiatry that your serotonin levels are low. And then they give some drugs to increase your serotonin levels in the brain. And so, should I take a pill to increase the serotonin levels? I can take a pill if I'm not able to generate. And how can I generate serotonin, which makes me feel good? By meditation, by changing my thoughts, exactly. And E, we said, was endorphins, not epinephrine. Epinephrine is a stress hormone, it's opposite. Endorphins are released when you physically work out for the body. Also, endorphins are released when you meditate, which again means taking care of the mind. So this is the way I can nurture and nourish my soul. So I've given you plenty of examples medically to tell you that how you can nurture by taking care of the thoughts and how these hormones go up. And then I don't need to prove. Again, science wants me to prove. So you'll say, prove. So someone will say, prove the meditation is working on you or no. So what will you tell them? Do my blood levels during meditation? No. There's no need to give them proof. Your most important experience is the proof. You are feeling good. Why do you want to take a blood sample and document all that? Because you said that, Michelle, that we keep doing the tests for the body. And it's good to do once a year after, say, 40, but very important, don't be stressed with the results. Something can be up and down. Sometimes the cholesterol may be slightly high, but don't create, oh my God, my cholesterol is high. Might as well don't do the test. Because if you're stressed about these things, again, your mind will go in a negative direction. So we finished N, and then we move on to D, mend. We have almost 15 minutes left, and the last 10 minutes we'll spend meditating. So let's look at this word D. The D stands for decoration. How can I decorate my mind? We are taught here at BrahmaKumaris, decorate it with values. And then you get the fragrance of values. It was a beautiful commentary which you heard again. Do you remember? It was said, the flower, the fruit, and the fragrance. Because if I create a beautiful, pure, positive, elevated thought, that's a seed. And that seed will do its work. Maybe not right now, but sometime in the future. So I have to keep planting the seeds in my mind, and particularly in my conscious mind or subconscious mind. Conscious mind, and because I have to consciously create. I can't expect my subconscious mind automatically to start creating good thoughts. No, because the subconscious is a big thing and it is filled with both negative and positive. And what tends to pop up fast, negative or positive? What do you feel? Because we are surrounded by negativity. So can we have a life like that now, that come what may, positive thoughts pop up all the time? It happens, right? Isn't it? Regular meditators are there, many of you. I'm sitting in the back here. My brother Eric is sitting there. You just, things happen in a wrong way, but I'm able to create positive thoughts because I have done the work of planting the seeds at some point of time. And that seed will definitely germinate into a fruit and a flower. And then that flower is giving you fragrance. What fragrance is it? It's not a physical fragrance. You can apply physical fragrance to the body, no doubt. But what is this fragrance which we are taught here? The fragrance of virtues or values. And we are taught here one step ahead, divine virtues. But if you don't want to go so far into divinity, let's come down to earth and think of some values. What are the values? And what are the value-based thoughts which I have to plant in my mind every now and then to mend my mind? So we said that, we said positivity, we said acceptance. I have to just accept every situation as it comes, every person as they come in my life. And it's a process. I'll give you this example because it happened with me a few days ago. I was at the Dallas airport, and probably I'm very attached to my laptop. I've purchased it new. It's not new. It's 2 years old, just for your knowledge. It's not new anymore. It slipped off while checking in at the security thing. They were quite fast because there was a lot of queue behind me. So in that big rush, this coat was also a bit slippery. It slipped off. And then, oh my God, see, that's what I also felt. I didn't see over there because they were saying, please go fast. And then After that, I saw, I mean, when I went after checking in at the boarding gate, waiting for the plane, I saw, let me see the laptop, what has happened. All was good except everything was working fine. It was connecting, no damage to the screen, keyboard, all was good, except a little bit of dent on the side. And that dent immediately made a dent in my mind, right? Oh, my laptop. And that to Apple, so on and so forth, whatever company. So what does this show? That I'm so attached to my laptop. And this is a process that we go through the 4 A's. If you can remember, the journey of acceptance goes through 4 A's. I'll quickly go through that. The first A is acknowledge. Acknowledge the thing it's happened with you. Because and acknowledge itself tells you knowledge. So what knowledge should I have so that I can remain stable? What is the knowledge point which I can tell my mind to mend it immediately? It's okay, it's happened. Fine, that's first. Second, we move on to, after acknowledgement, we move into approval. I need to approve of that. And approval means if I constantly say, why did it happen to me? Why the hell at Dallas airport? Blah, 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 all that. I am disapproving the situation. But I really can't disapprove because it has already happened with me. So do I have a choice? I just have to approve of the situation. So I acknowledge it, I approve it, and then I go into acceptance as the third. And what is the thought of acceptance which I can create? Fine, it's happened with me. Let me move on. Let go. That let word comes in. And fourth important step, if you can do after acceptance, appreciate. Now, what should I appreciate in the dent on that, which I'm not really liking? What thought can I create, which tells me I'm appreciating what has happened with me? Absolutely everything. So at least good, I didn't hurt myself. Good, the screen is working. Everything is still working. There's no problem with the keyboard. All is good. My health is good. Had I fallen off, blah, 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 all that. So I then can appreciate. So it's a process. We need to tell our minds. So what are the 4 A's of decorating? Acknowledge it, approve of the situation or the people around, accept them as they are, a bit difficult, but process, and then appreciate for what is happening. Because really we don't have any choice because it has happened. If it hadn't happened, I could have done it differently, but it has already happened. And therefore we say it was an accident or it was an emergency, whatever. It just happened. It was not in my control or not in my control, again is a difficult word, but it was not in my whatever. Don't say the word control. So I think we have spoken a lot about mend. So we'll just quickly revise and go in the meditation mode. So let's look at mend again. MEND. M stands for meditation and mindfulness. Mindfulness simply means to be fully present in the present moment. E stands for equanimity, balancing personal life, professional life, and setting our priorities right. Who do I take care of first? I, the being. N stands for nurturing and nourishing with beautiful thoughts. We discussed in detail what thoughts to create. And finally, decorating with values. And the most important value, I think, is acceptance and also patience, which I started with. If I can develop these two things, like be patient with everyone, most important being the self, and accept things and people as they are. These are the few important values which I can decorate my mind with and make sure that I keep planting those seeds inside, which will definitely sprout at some point of time. Right? So we don't have questions now or after meditation. What do you suggest? No? Okay. No, so I was wondering that we'll do meditation and go in a meditative mode rather than do meditation and then have Q&A. So do you want to ask any questions first?
Thank you.
You know, I'm really new to meditation. In fact, I haven't engaged in it yet, but I kind of get a preview in my mind about, okay, I'm trying to stay in the moment, stay in the fall like this or something like that. And, I'm trying to just be present in the moment with no interruptions of memory or fear or anything like that. But still, I mean, every detail around me is gonna set off some kind of emotional memory. I could be reminded of my old school auditorium, or, a picture looks like my grandfather, and like that all kind of entangles you. It's, I don't know.
It's a beautiful question. That's our journey. We begin our journey with like that, because when we try to meditate, what we do is there are two parts of the mind, conscious and subconscious. So what I'm doing in meditation, I'm trying to slow down or stabilize the conscious layer of mind. So the conscious layer is silent now. But what is active is the subconscious, where subconscious means all my memories are in that. All my what we call sanskars in Hindi, all my past actions, my personality traits, everything is filled inside. And they are a mix of both negative and positive. And as we rightly said, negative comes out first. So let it come out. Don't worry. And in the principle of Ayurveda philosophy in medicine, when we want to really treat a medicine right from its root, treat a disease right from its root cause, what happens first? All that dirt comes out, and then the person has a lot of reaction, a lot of side effects, and they say, I don't want to take the medicine. And the Ayurvedic doctor says, no, please keep taking it. The dirt will come out. So same thing happens with my mind. It will keep coming out. It will let it come out. Don't suppress it. And over a period of time, when you keep doing it, if you're persistent and consistent in your effort, that dirt will just go out and you'll never know. And then you'll really start feeling very good, because now the pool of positivity has started emerging. The negativity will emerge first. So we just have to be ready for that, particularly the beginners in meditation. And I'm sure, if I can speak for myself, being a regular meditation practitioner, even now on and off, negativity still comes out. So you're still at a good place than me. So I just mean to say that don't give up on yourself. And we are still in a process of working. It's work in progress. Many people say that, but don't keep saying it work in progress for the entire life. Say if you have work in progress, a road is being constructed for all the time, 12 months. Will you like it? No. So work in progress, but definitely it is a day will come in my life when I will be happy with my progress. So just keep doing, the negativity will go off. Welcome.
I just want to add to that, as on a personal level, as someone who's been a practitioner, I would say for about a decade. Anyone who knew me and still knows me thinks I'm very hyper, is the word they use, because my mind is going, and but it's a practice. And at first it was hard, and you can't, you start small. But now my body, my physical body, and my mind knows when it's time to meditate. I set the table for it, so to speak. I talk to myself by certain things that I say in my mind, and my body, it reacts to it, and it works. So it's small and then big.
And also another catch to this is people ask and people tell us, oh, you've been meditating for 15 years to me. You're still getting upset and irritated. You're still getting angry. So don't give up on yourself, because they don't know your journey. If I was getting 100% angry, now it is down to 10 and 20%. Isn't it good? So don't let people, I'm not saying people are judgmental when they say that. The people are your best judges. They can really tell you where you are going. So therefore, it's good to have such people around you who can be critical of you and not goody all the time. So it's good to have such people, but don't get carried away by what they are saying, because you know yourself the best. And the more you meditate, you can really start becoming more intuitive and insightful about what I need to change in myself. Because your right brain starts working. That's the creative brain. We spoke about the left brain, logical, but if you're a regular meditator, your right brain is working more, which is the more creative and artistic brain. And I must say, the intuitive and insightful brain. And today, Thursday, this topic is on insight, right? So it's a process. Just be patient with the self and don't give up. Don't stop doing it.
It's
Yes.
meditation time.
Yes. So
you.
we'll just offshoot to 8:05, 8:07 maybe, because once we start meditating, you are in a different time zone, which means you don't realize time is going. So even if it's a few minutes late, I hope it's okay. And I'll give you a few thoughts to ponder on, and then you see how you're experiencing or what you're experiencing. So let's begin. Let our spines be straight. And you can keep your eyes open or shut down, whatever is comfortable for you. And before we begin, take a few deep breaths in and out. And relax your body, relax. A deep breath in and a deep breath out. And relax your body. And as your body starts relaxing, you'll see that your mind also relaxes. Relax your mind, relax. You may see that your mind may still be thinking of something else, but very gently tell your mind, my dear friend, for the next few minutes, let me fully concentrate here. And you'll be amazed to see that your mind listens to you. So in this relaxed state of mind and concentrated, focused fully, consciously create this beautiful thought, I am a peaceful being. Peace is my original nature. And see how you're feeling now. Experience the peace within. Peace and only peace. Nothing but peace is my true nature. Let's take the second step in meditation now. As I am a peaceful being, so is the Supreme Divine Being, which is the source of all the virtues and powers. He's the ocean of peace, the source of peace I'm looking for. And visualize the Supreme Being, the top of your head, and see the rays of peace emerging from him and entering into your system. It's making you feel more and more peaceful. You now are experiencing the depths of peacefulness because you are connected to the ocean of peace. And let's take the final step. Ask yourself, can I be a peace messenger for people around? And the answer is, of course, yes. So I, the peaceful being, connected to the ocean of peace, am ready to be the instrument for service. I radiate this peaceful energy to all those souls who are in pain and suffering. I am merely an instrument. The Supreme Being is using me to spread His energy into the world. And as each one of us in this room have become so peaceful, this room is vibrating with the energy of peace. And what a beautiful thought it is that each one of us is responsible for peace in the world. Gradually, let's come back into the awareness of the room we are in. And as we open our eyes, though we are looking at each other, but the thought of peacefulness still remains. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. This was lovely. I don't know how else to say it. I was trying to think of an acronym before I went into meditation. Let's see what I came up with. Think I need more insightful, needed divinity. And the mind. But I need more. So insightful, needed divinity.
Oh.
And I meditated on that. And I want to talk to you afterwards because you are on the path. The fact that you are here like me, seeking, will happen. Well, let me just thank you because it was delightful. Now I'm going to be thinking in acronyms.
Thank you for being so interactive.
Thank you so much, wasn't it? It was just wonderful. Well, if you like what you saw on Saturday, if you have friends that are in the healthcare profession or have friends of friends in the healthcare profession, the good doctor, will be speaking on Saturday. We're going to have a program here for health professionals. From 2:30 to 3 o'clock will be refreshments, and 3 to 5 is a program. Do you have to be a healthcare professional?
I think related to healthcare, like pharmacists, nurses are also fine.
Mhm. So we will be here. And next week, just want to tell you, we will not have Thursday. It's July 4th. And as you mentioned, we're in the United States. So that's our day, so to speak. So we will not have sessions. So we will see you the following week. And with that, please stay for blessing and Toli. And thank you. And Zoomers, thank you for joining us. And next time on the 11th, I'll see you here at Harmony House, some of you at least. Well, thank you all for coming. You really do, by being here, it adds so much beauty and feel your vibrations. So thank you all. And thank you. Thank you.